What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I would like to welcome you all to another edition of Wayne's Perspective, where we operate in discipline, decency, integrity, and respect. And I'm coming through with another video just for you. Before I get started, like I always do, I hope everyone is doing okay out there, taking every day one day at a time. Me, y'all know how I do. I'm doing pretty good on today. Can't complain too much, taking every day one day at a time and living life the best way I know how as we inch closer and closer to Christmas Day 2025. Today's video is going to be a reaction video, something I haven't done in quite some time, focusing on Miss Jasmine Crockett, and I believe this will be my second or third video focusing on her. As noted in the title, I stand with Miss Crockett for many reasons. And the first three things that come to mind are: number one, she's easy on these eyes, probably the most beautiful woman on Capitol Hill. Two, she's easy on these ears. I could listen to her talk all day, and more often than not, when she speaks, you have to sit up and take note. And number three, she's the right person for this moment. And if I lived in Texas, she'd get my vote. She recently announced that she'll be running for the Senate in Texas, heading towards a primary against State Representative James Tallarico. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Personally, I think she should have remained in the House of Representatives, but hey, she'll be an asset no matter where she goes. And right on cue, not too long after she announced her candidacy, everyone comes out of woodwork with something to say, and that right there is a segue into the reaction video coming courtesy of Clay Kane. Shout out to him. And Mrs. Reese Colbert, shout out to her as well. And of course, fair usage for the video, fair usage. And one more thing before I get the video started, I'm giving you guys a fair warning, a F-bomb warning, because Mrs. Colbert, she goes in on this video as normal, and I'm here all day for it. So with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and get right into the video. I'm going to get my screen shared, and we're going to have a good time with this one.
Jasmine Crockett, of course, running for senator of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
She is getting, I don't even know who I could say she's getting it from. She's getting critiques on social media. Let me just say that.
Yeah, so it's very social media. Yeah.
Yeah. For her stance on Israel.
I had to stop it right there a little bit quickly. I'm not sure how many of you listened to Roland Martin, but either a week or so ago, I believe he did a video asking the same question that I'm about to ask now. Since when did Israel become a litmus test for the Democrats? But then again, when did it become a litmus test for elections in general? Now, I'm not insensitive to what's going on over there in that part of the world, particularly what's going on with the Palestinians. And let me tell you something. Admittedly, I have a lot of shade for students who protested on college campuses last year, but I'm not going to even go into that because that's not what this video is about. But getting back on topic, since when did Israel become a litmus test here? And since when did all of a sudden most of the American people give one single solitary damn about what's going on outside of our own country? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure that throughout elections in the past, you had a respectable number of people who did care about foreign affairs or international affairs. But when it comes to Israel, it's like everything just went totally left field or right field or whatever which way you want to call it. But why is this a litmus test with her? And like Roland Martin said, and I believe a few other people said this too, this Senate race in Texas is not going to be won based on what's going on in freaking Israel. Let's get that straight right now.
And also the whole AIPAC conversation, although she didn't receive money from AIPAC. So I guess they've moved on from that, right?
Oh, they got to move the goalposts.
Right. And I don't have do you have it? Do you know it offhand, Reese? I believe that there was 3 packages that Congress voted on. I think Jasmine Crockett voted on one of the 3 packages, and she voted against 2 of them.
She did vote against 2 of them. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have
do
the
know that
exact
for a
date.
fact. I have that for a fact. Yeah. Because I looked this stuff up.
And this was aid to Israel, right? And I want to say it was the first one that she voted for. Got to double check it. So I want to play this clip of her encouraging people to do their research, do their work. And you know what's interesting is that On one end, folks felt like Kamala Harris was too passive. And on the other end, when Jasmine Crockett is basically standing in it and not making too many apologies, then we hear that she is being too aggressive.
Let me stop it right there. Now, as usual, they're making some good points here, but I want to touch on exactly what he just said. Going back to the Kamala Harris piece, even looking back in retrospect, would I say that Kamala Harris was too passive? No. In fact, I think she gave the correct sort of answers when it came to Israel. You know, the whole thing about they stand by Israel in terms of their right to defend themselves. They want to see a two-state solution between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Now, could she have said more? Yes, I get that part. But then again, you still have people in the middle who was on this whole thing about, well, if she's going to continue what Joe Biden was doing, it's going to be worse. You can have some criticisms of that. But at the same time, when you look at what Trump has done, how is anything that Trump did any better than what Kamala Harris would have done? You know what I'm saying? So in a case like this, was she too passive? No. Could she have expanded on it regarding what she would have done that would have been different than what Joe Biden did? Yes, I'll give you that. But passive, no. Now let's shift to Miss Crockett. How is this woman aggressive? I mean, don't you want a fighter? I mean, I could have sworn that that's one thing that most of the voters these days say they want out of the Democrats. So how is she aggressive in this case when it comes to Israel? So let me get this straight. If she speaks how she speaks and stands on business, it's aggressive. If she says nothing, it's a problem. If she speaks less than aggressive, it's a problem. What is it that you want? I mean, you got to have somebody stand on business here. And as far as I'm concerned, she's doing it. And this clip that they're about to play, I heard it already, and I'm going to listen to it again. She stands on business here. So let's continue on, y'all.
Like either way, you lose.
Yeah, that's why it don't make any sense to do anything but what you want to do, because people gonna have a problem regardless.
So listen to this clip that's gone viral. Listen to this.
About the criticism, one more. The criticism where some people have said, I know you've seen it on social media, where people are saying that some of them aren't going to vote for you because of this pro-Israel stance. What do you have to say about that?
What I have to say is that people need to start to do their research and stop falling for the clickbait. Listen, if you loved me before, then what has changed? You can always look at my voting record and know what it is that I have and voted for, but it's quite intellectually lazy if you just sit there and let somebody else tell you something and you don't go and get the full picture. You can always look at my FEC filings and find whatever information it is that you seek. So what I will tell you is that I'm not going to be distracted, because at the end of the day, I can tell you that Texans are concerned about the fact that we lead in uninsured in this country. I can tell you that Texans are concerned because right now jobs are few. I can tell you that Texans are concerned because they can't afford childcare. I can tell you that Texans are concerned because hospitals are about to close down. And if you have questions, then you should just go and look at my record. I have nothing to hide. I wouldn't be running for office if I had anything to hide. But what I'm not going to do is allow people to sit here and have me on the defensive about something that they don't even know what they're talking about, because it is very easy to look up who is endorsed by who and to figure that out. That is intellectually lazy for you not to just go and look who has been endorsed.
You see, that's what I'm talking about right there. There was nothing aggressive about her tone. It was matter of fact. It was straight to the point. It was no nonsense. She stood on business and she spoke the truth. What more can you ask for here?
All right. So on that video, Amanda Seales commented, and she said, "She sounds a damn mess. I'm so disappointed in her choosing this path. Blink twice, sis."
Oh, boy. I have nothing to say about what Amanda Seales said. Let's keep it going.
I just wonder what the end game is. Because her opponent on the Republican side, if y'all got to choose between two people, which one is it going to be? If it really matters that much in Texas. But I tell you, some of this stuff that begins on social media and spreads around on social media, sometimes it can get into the voter's mind.
Yeah. That's true.
I agree.
And that's concerning to me because we could have a really good candidate. And at this point, I just feel like, you know what? If you don't like what she said, let her cook. Because if she loses, it'll only hurt Texas. I mean, if she wins the primary, it won't hurt her. She'll be good.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to keep the same old in, or tap out because of this, then then it'll be another election that ends in red, and you wonder why.
Exactly. There it is right there. And it goes back to the voters. Y'all say y'all want change, this and that. So why would this be a situation where you would keep voting the same people in that's not going to give you that? And I'm going to tell you something. If this is another case where people decide to stay at home because of some non-existent problems, or the fact that you don't know who she is, or you didn't get to know her as well, or she didn't check every single solitary box on your proverbial list, then that's on y'all.
Go ahead, Reese.
Well, let me say, number
Here she go. Reese about to cook, y'all.
one, I do think that there are people who genuinely care about what's happening in Gaza, the genocide, the atrocities, the carnage. I do think that there are people who genuinely want to see a shift in U.S. policy as it relates to support for Israel, as it relates to being more forceful about the U.S. coming to the aid of Palestinians. With that being said, when it comes to this U.S. Texas Senate race, you guys are full of fucking shit. Period. And I'm going to tell you why I know you're full of shit. Because Colin Alred, up until Monday of last week, was the leading contender for the same fucking seat. He ran an 18-month campaign for U.S. Senate. He got 5 million votes in that race, 1 million more votes than Beto did in his races that he ran. Ted Cruz got more than 5 million votes because obviously he won. Colin Alred got more votes than Kamala Harris did in Texas. There was no fucking conversation about what people voted for in Congress. Mind you, Colin Alred, at the time of his 18-month Senate campaign, was a sitting U.S. motherfucking congressman, taking identical votes to what people are calling out right now that Jasmine Crockett took. I checked the fucking record. They both voted no on the same things. They both voted yes on the same things. Where was this fucking conversation 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 12 months ago, 18 months ago, 24 motherfucking months ago?
That's a good ass question right there. And like I said, she's cooking. Where was the conversation? I know where it was. It was non-existent. Why? Because when it came to things like that, you're not going to bring up the Israel-Palestinian situation and make it stick to him. But apparently, it's going to stick to the black woman, right? Is that what we're seeing here? And now when I think about it, I think that is the answer to her question. Where was this conversation? No, it wouldn't stick to the brother, but it'll stick to the sister. Let's make something stick to her because, see, it has to be this litmus test, right? She got to check all these boxes, right? That's what I'm seeing here. So where was the conversation? It was non-existent, plain and simple. Let's keep it going.
The genocide was happening then too. Where was this fucking energy for Colin Alred? You want to know why it wasn't there? Because talking about Colin Alred doesn't get you clicks. It doesn't get you views. You can't monetize it because nobody gave a fuck
Right.
enough to make anti-Colin Alred content go viral. But if you make anti-Jasmine content go viral, then it's the motherfucking bonanza.
And that's the same thing that happened with Kamala Harris in the lead up to the 2024 presidential election last year. The same thing.
People gonna be on your live, gift. It's gonna get fucking spread. So y'all are full of shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna stand in it.
Please do.
This race will not be won or lost based on Israel.
Hello. I agree 100%. And I said it at the beginning of the video. She said it here. I was waiting for that once again. That's the 100% truth. This race is not going to be decided based on what's going on in Israel. Just like every race during the 2026 midterms is going to be based on a lot of things, but Israel is not going to be on that list. And if it is on the list, it's going to be way down at the bottom.
The position of the United States of motherfucking America has been to support Israel. If y'all motherfuckers had the political clout that you needed, why is Jamal Bowman not a congressman? Why is Cori Bush not a congresswoman? So you don't have the fucking clout, but what makes you feel powerful is punching what you think is punching down on Black women, because everybody's going to be on your motherfucking side when a Black woman is the one in your fucking crosshairs.
Again, she's cooking and she makes some good points there, and I agree. And let me say this right quick before I continue the video. Looking back to the 2024 election last year, I think another part of that as to why so many people didn't vote for Kamala Harris, and I don't think many people talked about this online, but I'm going to talk about it here. I think that there was a negative stigma in the country regarding Black women in leadership positions, and I want to say this was probably the case dating back to, let's say, 2020 or 2021. Now, don't get me wrong. I like to see my sisters doing good. I like to see my sisters get to high levels like that in government, whether it's a House of Congress, whether it's a governorship or anything like that. I'm happy to see that. Kamala Harris would have been way different from any of that. It would have been a lot of professionalism and class on the level of when President Obama was in office. Kamala Harris would have been great as president. She would have, like I said, she would have been classy, she would have been professional, and she would have been assertive when the time was right. But I think that there was a stigma regarding Black women in leadership positions, and I don't need to go through a list. Do your research. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Whether it was mayors, judges, city councils, you name it. There was some women, Black women in those positions that were involved in scandals or just pretty much not doing right by the people. And we saw it in real time. And I do think that that played a role in why Kamala wasn't elected as well, because most people was probably seeing those things regarding other women in leadership positions. And they probably got a bad feeling about it, thinking, okay, well, if these women are acting like this, I can only imagine how Miss Harris is going to act in the White House. Now, I didn't look at it that way, because there was no way in the world that I was going to equate the irresponsible behavior of other leaders to how Miss Harris was going to govern in the White House. It's that simple. So yeah.
It is very easy to put James Tallarico on this fucking pedestal because he's not in Congress. He doesn't have to take fucking votes. He's not in Congress.
How do you think James Tallarico would have voted if he was in Congress? And I want to add, Colin Albright did take AIPAC money, since folks really care about AIPAC money.
Well, let's also bring that in. So my whole point is not that you don't genuinely care. I think you genuinely care. Sure, you genuinely care. I genuinely care about a lot of motherfucking things. But did you care enough to have this fucking conversation about the motherfucker who got 5 million motherfucking votes from the Democratic Party last time? Now, and you didn't have the fucking conversation 2 weeks ago. So that's why you're full of shit. So good luck. Good luck. Maybe you want to pressure the motherfucking president. Maybe you might want to motherfucking go protest the Secretary of goddamn Words doing fucking push-ups in Dulles. Where y'all at?
Again, man, shout out to Mrs. Reese Cobra. She always cooked. That's why I like doing the reaction videos with these two, because they always be on it 100%. But again, what she's saying, she's making perfect sense here. Why y'all not taking this to the president? Why y'all not taking this to the Secretary of Defense? And let's keep it real, it's the Secretary of Defense, not the Secretary of War, because Congress did not authorize the name change from the Department of Defense to the Department of War. But I digress. Why y'all not taking this to Donald Trump? But you see, last year, again, during the run-up to the presidential election, during some of Kamala Harris rallies, y'all had hecklers and people coming in talking about Israel and Palestine and all that stuff, to a point where she had to stop mid-sentence to address that so she could continue on with her rally. But you didn't take that same energy to any of Donald Trump's rallies at all, because y'all know what will happen. It's easy to go to a Kamala rally and do that, but y'all wouldn't step foot in a Donald Trump rally because y'all know what will happen, right? Uh-huh.
or pull-ups and shit. He's chilling. Marco Rubio looking like he's fucking chilling. You know you have a whole fucking federal government that's actually perpetuating this shit right now. Where is the energy for them motherfuckers? The Texas Senate race is now about Gaza and Israel, and it wasn't enough. Okay, it used to be AIPAC. Oh, AIPAC money is bad. Okay, now let's move the goalposts. Now you're saying that you cannot be a Democrat who takes any pro-Israel votes at all, ever? You don't think that that is completely fucking delusional? That's stupid to me. That's dumb. And I'm not falling for it. It is an online conversation. And then now you have all these online people who go back and forth and argue about this shit. And then they take it in person and ask her fucking questions. So then now it becomes she's being asked questions that will not be the deciding factor in this race. Because like I said, in 2024, which was last fucking year, there were over 10 million votes that went to fucking pro-Israel, if that's what you want to boil it down to, candidates. And y'all ain't say basically boo. And I looked at these people. I'm not even going to name names right now because that's beside the fucking point. But I looked and I said, okay, well, let me see where they made an anti-calling out red video. What the fuck? So you guys and your double standards can kiss my black ass, period.
That's all it is. Double standards and hypocrisy. Hello.
And guess what? It is actually about fucking time that Black people stop being expected to be the mules of now the entire fucking world. Where is all you motherfuckers in the comments talking about, 800,000 Black women lost are out of work now. We got to do something about that. Oh, they trying to fucking cancel the Civil Rights Act. We got to do something about that.
See, I know where they at. When it comes to things like that, people are silent because apparently this doesn't affect them directly. But if there is no civil rights movement, or if you lose your job, then that's when it becomes a problem. When it touches you, see, I've been saying this. People take things for jokes until something touches you, then it's not going to be funny anymore. Y'all keep on playing.
They're trying to eliminate Black representation in Congress altogether through gerrymandering. We got to do something about that. Y'all motherfuckers don't
They're
care.
trying to press charges against Black folks like Monica
McIver, Congresswoman LaMonica McIver.
Still coming after Tish James.
Yes. So where is your fucking energy for that?
It's selective energy. That's exactly what it is. Selective energy and selective conversations. Everything is a choice.
The videos.
So I am not interested in having a debate about Jasmine Crockett's fucking record with people who did not give a fuck enough. Maybe you gave a fuck, but you didn't give enough of a fuck to have this conversation between the viral queen clickbait motherfucking monetization bonanza of a Black woman, the same way that Kamala Harris was. Y'all had more motherfucking smoke for Kamala Harris during her 107 days than you did for Joe Biden, who was the motherfucking nominee the whole goddamn time. So fuck y'all. Good luck, but fuck y'all. And I'm not doing it with y'all. What does Keisha, what does Jerome, what does Pookie, what does Kiki, what the fuck do they care about? That's the conversation that I'm interested in having, because that's who I need to vote. The sexy red crowd, the NBA young boy motherfuckers, all of these, the Nike Tech crowd, whatever quarters it, that's the motherfucking people that I'm trying to reach. All this shit, y'all do your own work. You do your own fucking work, because y'all don't give a fuck about us. And there are Black people like Amanda Seals, who is now motherfucking a one woman issue, one person. Girl, bye. You can go to hell too.
Amen.
And the motherfuckers, all y'all want to get your pets. Oh, because you can't stand a white person telling you that you ain't woke enough and that you fuck them, fuck you. I ain't doing the work of nobody. If you ain't with this Black woman, that's fine. That's your fucking, you're entitled to do that. But I'm not going to sit up here and let these people who did not give enough of a fuck dictate the entire conversation around this one Black woman. Because mind you, there were 30 something seats up for the U.S. Senate races across the country. Where is this conversation about any of those other motherfucking center races? I haven't heard it. So fuck all y'all. I ain't going for it. And I don't actually really give a damn about y'all having a fucking problem with her on it. Then don't vote, bitch. If you're a fucking Texas voter, then don't vote for her ass. Next caller. Vote for James Tallarico. And when y'all shove the fucking camera in his face and you ask him to motherfucking denounce Israel, you ask him to do all this shit and he don't do that, keep the same fucking energy. Keep the same goddamn energy. Go follow his ass around and ask him all these motherfucking questions that you asking Jasmine.
And you know what? They're not going to keep the same energy. They're not going to ask him any questions. They're not going to follow him around. They're not going to do that. Why? It's simple. He's not a black woman, and they know that they're going to get the pushback. See, you're going to treat the guy with the kid gloves, but then you want to come at the black woman with the aggression. We see it.
And I bet you he won't have the same fucking answers that she has. He might polish it more because was he a preacher? He might be more polished. He might not tell y'all kiss his white ass, but the substance and the way he plans to vote, I can guarantee you, is identical than what the fuck how she voted, how Colin Albright voted, that y'all didn't have shit to say about for 24 goddamn months.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a good point. Even during the campaign, when Colin, I mean, he came to be on the mic. There was no kind of talk around that. So it just feels disingenuous. It feels like a double standard.
It is. It literally is. There's indisputable proof of it.
And this is what I'm just tired of. Like, I understand it's politics and all things aren't fair, but I just can't look at it that way. I'm not going to have somebody up here when the other side of it is all the way to the gutter. I mean, I'm just not going to do that. But if we want to start that and this social media conversation rolls over and you want to, I mean, I can't, I'm not from Texas, but I can't imagine that the Israel Gaza conversation is going to resonate with Texas voters.
Once again, shout out to Clay Kane and shout out to Reese Colbert. That was a great video. I agree with 100% of everything that they said. And again, like they said, this race in Texas is not going to be decided on what's going on in Israel. It's just not going to happen. And for anybody trying to equate that and make it seem like that's a big enough issue compared to whatever else is going on in the country at the moment, I'm sadly mistaken. It just comes down to this. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if I was in Texas, I would vote for her. She's the right person for this moment. She stands on business. She speaks her mind. She's not ghetto. She's not aggressive. She's being herself. And that's what counts here. She is a fighter. Y'all want to talk about having fighters on the Democratic side? She's the right person for this moment. And Texas, if y'all don't get this right in 2026, I don't even know what to tell you. And don't come years after the fact saying Jasmine was right or we should have did this or we should have did that. Don't give us that because the opportunity is here. Do what's right for your state because she's going to make a tremendous senator, in my opinion. And really, that's all I have to say. And once again, shout out to Clay Kane, shout out to Reese Colbert, and shout out to Miss Jasmine Crockett for doing her thing. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and get the video closed here. If you like what you heard and you're ready to become part of Team Discipline, go ahead and hit that like button and drop some comments if you're feeling the content. And last but not least, hit that subscribe button along with the bell so you're notified when I drop new videos. And until next time, my people, take care of yourselves and remember, the power of the mind is valuable.